All right, and here we are back with the last two episodes of season three Young Justice review. Went solo towards the end here, but I'm with you guys. Very personal. What an experience. Also, speaking of, this time we're going to be doing episode 25, Overwhelmed. And this is very personal. This is a very personal episode because things kind of come about. The saddest thing that I've probably seen is the quote unquote return of Wally West, which is not really Wally West because Zatanna and I forget her name, Rocket, are talking about, or I think it's Bumblebee, I forget which one, I apologize. They're talking about how they set this thing up so this way Artemis can act as if she's seeing Wally and then kind of come to terms with certain things. But it's a very personal experience. I guess an overwhelming of emotion, but for me, it kind of felt more personal. We have Fred Bug and the return of the Genomorphs as well. The Genomorphs kind of come back and we get a little update. So they kind of tie that little bow, I think, with them. They live in Geranium City now. They use a psychic sort of illusion thing to make it seem like they're humans, but they're just Genomorphs. And they're living now within quote unquote society. They're just out in the open, but still they have to kind of cloak themselves. And we have Fred Bug kind of having to decide whether he needs to go back to New Genesis or even wants to go back, or because of the friends that he's made here, maybe he wants to stay. At the beginning of this thing, we kind of have Lex Luthor saying they're gonna enact their plan, so we'll see what winds up happening. We also get Metron back, and he also calls Cyborg and Halo grandchild or something like that, which was kind of, I get what he said. I know he explained it. Basically, since he created Mother and Father Box, these are the quote unquote offspring of Mother and Father Box. So this way, he's their child, I guess, in some sense, because he says, "You're the children of my children," which I thought was pretty kind of cool, because he came out of nowhere too. Especially the part where, what's his face, Beast Boy was pretending to be a tiger. And also the daughter, Will's daughter, also said, "Now we got to find Cheshire for Dad." Ooh, so she's smart enough to at least know what's going on. And I guess the whole point, Artemis seeing Wally, is because she kisses Will, and they have a little smooch. But she's overwhelmed with emotion. She's like, Zatanna, I need your help, bro. Hook me up, because I don't want to feel my feelings. Instead, I want to live in this illusion, which is not the right way to do it, kids. Not the right way to do it, folks. We face our emotions head on, good or bad. It's still good to feel them because what that is telling us is that we can feel feelings. And then it's just a matter of how we approach them, what coping mechanisms. And I guess in this case, Artemis needed to experience this in order to uh, awaken a coping mechanism that she may have pushed down or something along those lines. She had the poof though, so shout out to the poof. Shout out to Wally West. Very sad though. We had the voice actor at least come back, but brother, it's not the same. It's not the same. Also, there's a coup happening. That dude comes back and he's like, "That's it, I'm taking the crown." Like, what the hell? No, bro, you're not. What do you think you're trying to do? So Brion now and his sister Tara, they gotta go deal with that coup. The brother's there, and they're talking a little bit. It's not really too much about them. There's one thing though that tied this up. Nightwing kept saying to Brion, "You gotta have patience," and then he says in this episode, "I guess I now have patience," or something along those lines. Ties it in beautifully, very very smooth. Others so far, overall for the last two episodes, this one of those eights. It's very polite. So I think the next one must be action packed. But a sad one nonetheless, though happy because I got to see Wally. And shout out to all the Wally fans. We miss him, man. Hopefully he comes back. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned, folks. That was episode 25. Coming up next, episode 26. And that's it for season 3. Peace. All right. And here we are. Last episode, man. Season 3. Episode 26. Nevermore. 25 was Overwhelmed. 26 is Nevermore. Overwhelmed, Nevermore. Pretty cool. I'll tell you though, truth be told, and I'll get into ratings and then I'll get into my overall thoughts of this season. This was also an 8 episode. I feel like some of the other episodes were a little bit better, but monumental, interesting. It moved the plot along, tied up some things, and then opened some things. I honestly think like the Infinity Ink stuff came a little too late because you really don't get to kind of see them, and then and then eventually what winds up happening is we don't get season 4 for a while. The Infinity Ink came a little bit too late. This episode, you kind of get like a coming out party, if you will. Brion kills his uncle, which is crazy. The episode kind of starts with them invading Markovberg and the palace, and then they get into a fight. Fisticuffs occur, you know, and then Brion winds up getting like fighting his uncle, defeating his uncle. His uncle tries to escape. He gets him again, kills him again. Turns out that dude who was like whispering in people's ear in Markovberg, he's the fucking light, bro. That's crazy. Wow, insane. I knew because they never addressed who the last person is properly, meaning we never knew who it was. They may have hinted at it or something like that. And I guess maybe if you read between the lines in a second watch through. But that dude, man, that dude who was like egging Brion on, he's like, "This is the king. We need the hero." You got to be careful picking and choosing and stuff. You got to be very careful. But Brion kills his uncle, man. That's nuts. And he breaks the rules. And then he's telling Tara, he's like, "I absolve you of your crimes. Come rule with me." And Tara's like, "Nah, bro, I'm good." And then he goes to Violet, and he's like, "Yo, Violet, come rule with me. We'll be king and queen." And Violet's like, "Nah. So what do you got to do, bro? You gotta roll with the punches." Although he killed someone, so not that good. And then eventually Lex Luthor gets exposed, and then he has to resign. And then the Infinity Inc. are kneeling to Brion. Brion's a little tight. Violet's kind of crying and stuff like that. But this kind of wraps things up. There was one point where Miss Martian was gonna give back the ring to Superboy. Like, "Mommy, no, nah. What you mean, give the ring back? I love you, girl. Keep this ring, and we'll talk via psychic link." And he's like, "Do you still want me?" And she gives him a smooch. She gives him that moise, and everything's better now. You see what happens, and then you see they go to Bibbo's. It's a close for a private event, and it's good to see, because Oracle and Dick are, they're hanging out and stuff like that. They're together. That's cute. Uh, Fred Bug comes out as Forager to his class. Superboy also comes out, which is also, I guess, pretty monumental because realistically, this arc for him has been 3 seasons where he can be himself, you know, which I thought was pretty rocking. And then at the end, we get Black Lightning coming back, you know, and he's the leader of, I guess, Justice League is, I guess, what they're trying to do. And he's like, no more covert ops, but we're gonna have covert ops just so people can kind of learn stuff, but no secret stuff, no secret things. Wonder Woman resigns, Aqualad resigns, So it's pretty cool. It's nice. It was nice. It was very wholesome. And then we leave some things because they were torturing Granny Goodness. And then Vandal Savage and what's his face? Darkseid for that anti-life equation. They mended fences. So, all right, pretty interesting. 8 overall. So now overall for this season, it's a good season given that there were multiple years removed from season 2 to season 3, and then eventually what we find out is that there's a couple of years removed from season 3 to season 4. Eventually I'll be covering that, most likely on my own. I'll be covering that, and then we'll see what winds up happening, the shift that happens, if you will. But there's multiple years that have been removed from the showing of season 2 to showing of season 3. And overall, I feel like the Brion stuff I get how it moved the plot along, but it was a little boring. The Violet stuff was a little bit boring. I get why they did it, and I could probably not I definitely couldn't make a better series than what Greg Weisman did. But I will say at the minimum, Greg Weisman did provide good writing for this show. Some things kind of fell. I like that they had the kids, the Medellin. That was a that was a pretty dope story. I liked how they moved that along. It was fun. Uh, it's just, in my opinion, these sort of side characters don't really, they shouldn't really be the main focus unless you like super want them to be the main focus. Your money is with Artemis. Your money is with Superboy. Your money is with Aqualad. Your money is with Dick Grayson. Your money is with Miss Martian. This is where it kind of lies. These are your main characters. Zatanna, stuff like that. Even like Rocket is actually a pretty cool character too. I feel like some of the biggest issues is that they focused a lot more on these sort of like smaller characters, push some of the main characters because they wanted a whole bunch of people. So let's see eventually what season 4 provides. But I think that was some of the hits, some of the misses. Overall, it was a good season. It was action packed. They had League of Shadow stuff. They had, a nice little balance of Justice League to uh, uh, Young Justice members. You know what I'm saying? They're not really called Young Justice, but you get what I'm trying to say. They had a nice little balance. Sometimes it kind of felt as if Justice League couldn't do something unless our heroes did. But nothing too crazy, nothing too bad where I'm getting like that hyped about. The Granny Goodness stuff was really cool. I liked the story that they gave for Will a little bit. I like the Beast Boy story that they gave. Yeah, it's just a different season. Season 3 is different. Zatanna, which should have probably had a lot more time. But let's see what happens in season 4. Blue Beetle just got pushed right back to the far side, you know. But it's nice that they gave some. But Blue Beetle had a whole season too, you know. So they gave some stuff here. They gave some stuff there. The writing overall, quality work, fantastic work. I think the writing is top notch in this series. And overall, I would probably give this series a 9.5 out of 10. Slightly better in the writing because there was a lot of time and you could write some stuff. Whereas season 1 and season 2 are still kind of like childlike. And so, especially season 1. Season 1 is very, very for the kids. But it's still written kind of nice. And there's probably more nostalgia for season 1. But season 3, overall, I'd probably even say like a 9.2, 9.3 or something like that. Quality. Hey, quality stuff. It told the stories really well, but some of the stuff we kind of could have done without. Some of the characters I felt like could have been shown a bit more, but you see nice story arcs overall. All right, and that's it, folks. Season 3, Young Justice Review is finished. It was a pleasure getting to do this for you guys. I'm excited to bring you season 4 whenever that occurs. It was an honor getting to spend some of my nights, some of my weekends recording this. I had a lot of fun, just like I had fun for season 1, just like I had fun for season 2. Season 3, it brought much joy. So I'm excited to do this for everybody. Onward, forward, together as we wrap up season 3. We look forward to season 4. All right, folks. Keep it tight. Next time you catch Young Justice Review, it's going to be season 4. Stay tuned. Peace. Bitch.